for hosting great musical performances. So the Temple of Rock, it's a historic site, and of course, historic site not just for the rock concerts, but also South American basketball. It opened in 1978 for the William Jones Cup and hosted the final of the 2012 edition of the Liga Sudamericana. And the Liga Sudamericana in 2012 was won by Regatas de Corrientes. And you remember that Paulo Quinteros, the Argentine international, was the MVP of that Final Four. Well, as we mentioned, Boca's fans won't have to travel that far since they're actually based in the city. But starting off, it'll be Malvin, who come from Montevideo, Uruguay, and Argentino de Junin. Now, Junin is about 3.5 hours away to the west by car from Buenos Aires. So there's a little bit of a distance to travel there for their fans. Obviously, Brazilians, Winter Limeira, they have a much longer trip to come from Limeira, and Malvin, of course, we talked about Montevideo. So, we'll see what type of home court advantage Boca Juniors will have later or as this Group E unfolds. Malvin, who finished top of Group A after winning all 3 of their games against Mogi das Cruzes, Libertad Sunchales, and La Salle, well, they're going to be taking on Argentino de Junin here in the opening game. And we know that Argentina is a good team. They're led by point guard Franco Balbi, and they showed they were mentally tough. They fell in their first game in Group C to Limeira, but then they rebounded with impressive victories over the hosts of that group, Aguada, again, the beaten finalists from last year. So they had to win that game in the hostile atmosphere in Montevideo. And then they beat Importadora Alvarado. Malvin have a lot of weapons as well. As you look at some of those Argentino fans, Malvin, among their weapons, Matias Calfani, the Uruguay national team center. And without question, I think their most famous player, Nicolas Mazzarino. If you were interrupted there by technical difficulties, apologies. But as we look at this Malvin team coming out to be introduced, without question, Nicolas Mazzarino is one of their most famous players, a terrific three-point shooting marksman. They're going to be a fun team to watch. And Malvin, much like Aguada last year, want to make sure basketball is on the map in this Liga Sudamericana. It's a great opportunity, really, for both teams. And the coaches embrace at midcourt. The players as well will go out and give each other some pregame pleasantries. Well, folks, the Liga Sudamericana de Clubs 2014, the opening game tonight here in Group E in the semi-final round. Argentino de Junin, you see their roster there. We spoke about Balbi, Cangelosi, a very important player for them. Haywood Owens, another one to be looking out for. Schoppler, the guard. Ignacio Alessio, Franco Balbi. We mentioned it's a team that it wants to obviously get off on the right foot tonight, unlike in the preliminary round, because it'll make life a lot easier for them as it unfolds. For Malvin, well, we spoke about Calfane, we spoke about Mazzarino. Ruben Garces is a very young 41 years of age. He'll be coming in at center. Richard Cheney, another player. See the refereeing crew tonight: Antonio Vega from Puerto Rico, Hernan Melgarejo from Colombia, and Flavio Zabala from Ecuador. There's Pablo Lopez, coach of Malvin, and his players going through their final shoot-around warm-ups. And of course the captain of this Malvin team is Fernando Martinez. Now there's Lopez looking over the game plan one last time. Captain of Argentino de Junin will be Cangelosi, Juan Cangelosi. It's an interesting hairstyle there, sported by the Argentino player. Well, these teams have already progressed from the preliminary round. The aim was to finish, the primary aim was to finish in the top two. And each of them did and moved on. And now the aim, once again, with only 8 teams alive in the competition, is again to finish in the top two. And if they can do that, they'll reach the promised land, the Final Four. And anytime you can get a trophy before Christmas, you know it's going to be a very merry holiday season for all of these players and their fans. Daniel Stewart, he's a handful. Watch out for him for Argentina de Junin. We spoke about Owens, Cangelosi, Balbi, and Fernando Funes. They are the players in that starting 5 for Argentino de Junin. Ariel Reerte did a good job of keeping the focus in that team after losing that first game to winner Limera. And as for Malvin, well, their starting 5 will be Calfani, Mazzarino, Federico Bavosi, very good player, Richard Cheney, number 24, and Ruben Garces. So Garces, the elder statesman, gets the nod in that starting 5 for Malvin. And the coach, Pablo Lopez, entrenador. So hello everybody, if you're just tuning in, we are right here before the opening tip of the first game in the semifinal round here in Group E. We're in Buenos Aires the home court of Obras Sanitarias, and the clashes between Malvin of Uruguay and Argentino de Junin. Garces. And there's the coach, Lopez. So Stewart and Garces will jump it up. And we're off. And Richard Cheney winds up with it, hands it off to Bavosi. And Bavosi goes up against Balbi. Now Mazzarino. Interior pass inside, and good move with Garces getting an early touch, and he will go to the line. Almost not too much contact there. Lopez puts the first one up and in, gets a little bit of rim action, knocks it down. You can see he's had a good career. Not sure how many players you would see playing at this stage, 41, but he's been able to keep himself in good shape and clearly is still got it, or else he wouldn't be in that starting five, let alone the team. Rierte calls the play. Now Balbi goes up against Bavosi. Oh, interior pass and an easy bucket given away there, and it's Funes. So he picks up his two, and that was an easy one. Garces was there, but didn't react. Now Mazzarino open, but a block is called. The moving screen called against Malvin. So Calfani picks up the foul, Uruguayan center, and that turns it back over to Balbi. And it's back to Balbi now. And Mazzarino comes up and hits Stewart, bowls him over. No doubt about that collision. And the call on Mazzarino. Stewart gets up. Cangelosi looks to inbound it. Hands it off to Balbi. Funes. This little space. And Mazzarino read the pass. Knocked it out of bounds. Mazzarino played in Italy. Was a real star for Cantu, helping them get into the EuroLeague. And came back at start of the 2013-14 season to play with Malvin back in his homeland. And shot clock violation. So the turnover, Owens couldn't get it off in time, or didn't get it off in time. Now Garces out on the perimeter. Passes. Bavosi. Cheney dribbles between his legs. Mazzarino gets it in. Now outside to Bavosi, and he's hit, shooting the three. A very clever play there from Bavosi, and the foul picked up by Balbi. So kind of a, without question, a mental mistake. You want to get a hand up, but you don't want to commit the foul. And they call it with the body. So Bavosi earns the trip to the free throw line and makes the first. Second is off. And the third is good. So he makes 2 of 3, takes it up to a 4-2 advantage here early on for Malvin. Inside, Stewart goes hard to the hole and scores. Good strong move from Stewart. Scored over Calfani. Trying to set the tone in that matchup. Oh, Mazzarino. Calfani. He's 22. Gets inside. Nice length. You can see he's a player with a lot of promise. Had a huge game last time out. 19 points, 11 rebounds with his club. In their latest domestic win. That was against Goes. They won that one 79-59, and Calfani was the main attraction, the main man. Balbi misses from the left corner, and Calfani gets the rebound. Now over to Bavosi. And Cheney puts up a 3, no good. Ball batted out to Funes. Funes just kind of puts up a runner, misses. And Mazzarino brings it the other way. Now Cheney. Thought about attacking. The early shooting percentages for both teams. And the pass goes in, but denied. Now, over to Cangelosi. Cangelosi yet to get involved. And the bounce pass couldn't be controlled by Owens. It goes out of bounds and back over to Malvin. We have a 6-4 lead. Lopez calling the plays. Mazzarino pulls up, short. And Owens with the rebound, hands it off to Balbi, who quickly gets it over to Funes. Over in the right, spin, and the jumper is no good by Cangelosi. And a foul has been called. Here's another look at the first basket from Argentina de Junin. And here is their second from Stewart, bullying his way inside. And that was Stewart being very active defensively, getting the block. And the push and an offensive foul called against Cangelosi. Bavosi was in that Uruguayan national team that played at the FIBA Americas Championship last year. See, the Argentina have gone without a bucket, and Malvin also struggling a little bit for points here early. Calfani flies in, gets the ball back. Meanwhile, substitution, and the man who has just come into the game has his hands on the ball, but then turns it over. Newsom, Rick and Newsom. Comes in and spells Ruben Garces. Long 3 missed by Argentino. Back over to Bavosi. Interesting matchup between Bavosi. You see the shooting percentages early on. And the bounce pass couldn't be controlled by Calfani. Funes drives in and looks like a foul has been called. There's the brain trust. So the foul called on Newsom. 2 free throws coming the way of no, in fact, the foul was not called on Newsom. So it's Malvin with a 2-point lead and possession. And Newsom catches it down low and goes up strong. Takes it up to an 8-4 lead. And the rebound, another rebound goes the way of Malvin. And a quick bucket, and that takes the lead up to 10-4. And the basket, Silvare, his first basket after coming off the bench. And another turnover against Argentino. Newsom getting his 2 points. We'll look at that again. Nice bounce pass inside, and Newsom scores again in that interior defense, leaving a little bit to be desired right now for Argentino de Junin, and Malvin sensing a little a weakness there and attacking it with precision. Silvare with the pass, Newsom with the finish. And Malvin up 12-4. Listen to the coach.
¿Cuántos tiros buenos tiramos al aro? Uno de Franco de la esquina. Una vez jugamos puño bajo, entró la bola Dani, anotamos. Orden, tenemos que tener orden para jugar. Orden. Vamos a presionar todo el campo. Recibe el grande. Lo dejamos al grande. Lo dejás al grande, cubrí el aro. You cover the ring. Don't go to steal the ball. No le demos goles fáciles como las 3 bandejas que hicieron. Orden. Orden para jugar allá. Está. Vamos una bola en uno larga para que vos salgas al medio y juegues pick and roll vos final. Está. Uno y después libre con la bola Chris. Vamos.
Uriarte realizes that it's early, but you don't want to dig a hole for yourself early on. And the way that Argentina were approaching that last few minutes, he needed to get a timeout to sharpen the focus. Calling for more order. And won't be surprised to see him come out and do a little bit of pick and roll on this play here. See where's the pick? Here's the pick. Now Haywood's Owens will roll. No, he didn't roll. And out it goes. And Cangelasi drills the three-pointer. There's the captain. And that's huge coming out of the timeout. Mazzarino for three. Good. Well, you know you got to get a hand in his face. He has been a terrific three-point shooter in his career. And he comes out and nails one early. Mazzarino hit 12 of his 23 shots from the arc in Group A. It's Cangelasi. That was his three, and here was Mazzarino. He was a big-time three-point threat when he was playing in Italy, that's for sure. Nice drive inside from Balbi. Went in amongst the trees and still got it to go down. So Balbi gets his first 2 points. See the sense of urgency there with Argentina. And beautiful play from Mazzarino. Nice unselfish play from Newsom. Hands it off over to his teammate, Gransberry. And Gransberry gets his first bucket. Well, Malvin's doing an excellent job of getting the ball inside and now showing themselves to be adept at making the nice short interior passes. This one picked off by Cheney. He's going to go coast to coast, puts it up, and draws the foul from Cangelasi. Well, Cangelasi saying he had position, but you watch. There was a little bit of contact there. Gets, well, not too much in it there from Cangelasi, so Cheney may consider himself to be somewhat fortunate. See the free throw shooting, 6 of 7 for Malvin, and no attempts yet for the from the team from Argentina. And already Malvin now with a 10-point lead, and this is after Argentina came out of that timeout and got the three, and Mazzarino went right back and replied with the three. That's how big that was. So Ray for three. Well, Silva shows the way. So he joins the three-point party. Also had that nice pass in transition. And Malvin showing why they won all three of their games in the preliminary round. And that was Stewart getting in, missing kind of the short jump hook. You can see 18-5. They've outscored Junin since the 8:04 mark of this quarter. And we're in the final 30 seconds here of the first quarter. Mazzarino passes inside. Gransbury fumbles it, but it gets to Newsom, and he hits the shot right at the line. And it's been a dream start for Malvin. They're up 15, and if you look at Argentino de Junin, they're going to come back and put up a three. And the rebound to Cangelasi, he puts it up. And that ball was on the rim. And I think it looked like it was on the way down, and that's why the referee has called it. You never know. Watch this. And that ball was going in, and he knocked it out. Oh, from that angle, it looked a little bit different. You can't blame Newsom for going up and trying. Well, the play, here's another look. Well, this was another one where Balby went in and scored. So good, great start for Malvin. And I think if you're Argentina de Junin, you have to really be worried about your defense at this stage, because they have been giving up a lot of shots inside. And the problem is that Malvin have been able to build some confidence here in the first quarter. So Malvin with a 24-11 lead at the end of the opening quarter. That basket did count there at the end from Argentino de Junin. So second quarter action underway here with Malvin on top. And you see the scores for each team. It's 24-11, Malvin. And Argentino de Junin, who got that basket at the end, will try to get another one. The behind-the-back pass to Stewart. Stewart puts up a tough shot. He was able to kind of twist his body and get the shot off with his left hand. And now he has 6 points. He's made all, I think I remember him missing a shot in the lane. Silvare for three. Good! Well, he's hitting another one, folks. He has come out smoking off the bench for Malvin. Every time you can see Argentino de Junin getting a little bit of momentum, somebody steps up and makes a play for Malvin. That was a tough shot. But here's what Silvare said. You're going to leave me open? You're going to pay the price. And he knocks it down. Balbi. Over to Funes, or Schopler. And a turnover, needlessly. Back to Cheney. Calfani then makes one pass too many. Now quickly. Over to in the corner. See the assist to turnover ratio for both teams. Balbi inside. And another second straight turnover. Silvare kind of dances around. Gets it back out. Oh, Silvare this time goes inside. Boy, he's putting on a clinic. It was not Schopler's basket, that was Silvare. Schopler plays for Argentino de Junin. Stewart gets in the lane, tough shot. Boy, it's a 16-point lead, and right now, folks, Malvin just look so much more determined, so much more focused. And Argentino having a nightmare. And the bump and the foul called against Argentino de Junin. And that foul, I believe, is going to be on, is it Alessio? It is indeed. So Ignacio Alessio having a tough start here. Came out, had a couple turnovers, committed the foul. Basabi's also come in. Oh, it's none of the stats that you're looking at right now that come up on the board are very favorable for the team in white. But for Malvin, they just keep getting better and better. And Martinez now joins the scoring parade. It's 31-13. And Malvin said, you know what, folks? We won all three of our games in the preliminary round. We are for real. And he actually had a hand up that time. And Uriarte feels like he has no choice. He has to call a timeout. Let's hear what he has to say.
Estás en el medio. Pick and roll lateral, fondo. Fondo. Está 20. Dani, Emiliano, Pito y Franco. En ofensiva. Jugamos de un lado. Las ayudas vienen todas, muchachos. Vienen todos. Pase y pase al otro lado. Reverso, reverso. La ventaja está del otro lado. Jugamos acá. Los 5 de Malvin están adentro. Pase, pase al otro lado. Pero hay que soltar la bola. Tenemos que soltar la bola. Cuerno. Cuerno. Para que termine Pitu acá. Con Dani jugando la situación en pareja. Está. Más intensidad, levantemos la cabeza. Hay que empezar a hacer el partido de vuelta. Vamos.
Well, certainly he was talking about the pick and roll, and I guess probably the first time out he was talking about the pick and roll defensively, how to defend the pick and roll, whereas offensively he's looking for his team to swing it, to pass the ball, make the extra pass, 2-3 passes, make them work on defense. And right now, 10 consecutive shots from the field. I mean, they are on fire, Malvern. 32-13. They could hit the half-century mark here in the first half. Well, Lopez is loving it. Well, terrific minutes from that man right now. Right there, Silvare. Silvare takes a seat. He goes out with quite a few points already. And offensive foul called against the team from Argentina. Well, pass. The long three, another three-pointer falls. And this just looks like it's getting worse before it gets better. The second three-pointer from Martinez. Silvare has 10 points already. He's on the bench, back on the bench. Look at that. 24 puntos del banco. Argentina de Junin 0. And a foul called in there on Basabe. That was the three from Martinez, the captain. Always good to see the captain come out and play well for you, lead. Even though he didn't start, he's come out and made an impact on the game. And they've got the wind in their sails right now. Nothing but frustration for Argentina de Junin. Goodness me. 22 points the lead for Pablo Lopez's team. Well, they've just had more energy really from the start and probably a lot better organized. Martinez, another three. And I think Uriarte probably thought that was going to go in as well, the way it's been going for this Malvern team. They hit 5 of the first 6 three-pointers, so they're now 6 of 7. So you can see the drought for this Argentino team. It's been a long time. Needs somebody to step up and hit a shot. And finally, Alessio hits one. So his first basket gets it back to a 20-point deficit. We've got to get it done on this end. Garces gets inside, off the front of the rim. Now Argentino de Junin. Penetration with the left hand, no good, but the follow. And Ignacio Alessio in a perfect position. Ignacio Alessio misses. And now a technical foul has been called. Incredibly. Technical foul has been called against Malvern, up 20 points. Go figure that. That is the last thing in the world you want to happen when you are just in complete command. And that allows the 2 free throws. Not exactly sure who they called it. Was the foul called on Martinez or was it called on the bench? The referee didn't hesitate to call the technical. You can see Lopez having words with his captain, with Martinez. So yeah, in fact, an unsportsmanlike foul is what the call was, not a technical. An unsportsmanlike foul on Martinez. So that was why, 2 shots and the ball. So it was kind of I think they're saying it was an intentional bump. So that was a real mistake for a team that was in complete command, and they still are in command, but you don't want to give the opponent any whiff of a comeback. Listen to what Pablo Lopez has to say.
Esquina, Fernando corriendo. Si este se mete adentro, amagá y volvé que queda solo. Atacá el poste alto para los pases. Si enfrentás, llévalo al hoyo. Y no tenés el pase al hoyo. 7 segundos. ¡Ey! Vamos ahí nomás de 20 arriba. Dale, vamos arriba, dale, vamos arriba.
Well, if I were the coach, I think I'd put Silvare back in there because he was really, he really had that team turning on all cylinders. He came out of the game. Now Martinez is the captain and had the unsportsmanlike foul, so that gave away the 2 free throws and possession. And that's a dream scenario, but I think Owens trying to do something that's not really in his skill set there, put the ball on the floor and drive right into the defense. So it turns it right back over to Malvin. Bavosi over to his teammate. And that drops in from Suberbielle. So his first 3-pointer, Suberbielle. Schopfler, lefty, no good. And I'm not sure the coach is going to be too happy with Rierte. We remember him talking about making a few more passes, making Malvin work, and that was a quick 3. 21 points, the advantage. Bavosi. Tough shot. And the rebound from Basabi. Now Balbi. Beautiful bounce pass from Balbi. And the foul is going to be called on Malvin, so Basabi should have a couple of free throws coming up. Well, you can see what Martinez is saying right there. He was upset because he felt like he had been elbowed in the neck. And I think the retaliation is what got him the unsportsmanlike foul. Well, Basabe doesn't make both, but the rebound for Argentino keeps the ball in their hands. Schopfler. Owens hands it off. And a 3-pointer from Funes, no good. And Bavosi brings it up the floor quickly. Malvin with a 5+5 difference in the rebounding. Mascherino back into the game, number 8, veteran. Now Bavosi hands it off, and good strong move, and Garthis gets inside. And boy, Malvin are just tearing this Argentino de Junin team apart. 22 points is the lead. 16 points in the paint for Malvin. Alessio. And no white shirts under for the rebound. Calfani got the rebound. Mazzurino looks to Garces. Garces loses the ball, goes out of bounds, and goes off of Argentino. So that was, again, another look at the unsportsmanlike that was called. And long 3 from Calfani. Ball goes out of bounds over to Argentino de Junin. Supervielle tried to save it in bounds. Here's another look after the miss. Nope, that was the three that went in. And that was the nice penetration and dish. Well, this Argentina team just hasn't been in the races today against Malvern. They have just really come out and been far more the aggressive team. Wasabi misses off the front of the rim. Good hustle from Cangelosi to get it back. He puts up a quick three. It's good. That's what happens when you get offensive rebounds. Good things tend to happen. Second three for Cangelosi, holding his mouth like he's been hit. Another look at that three-point shot. That three-point shot really helps you. Three-point shot can really help you cut into a deficit if Argentina could get hot. Right now, this Argentina looks like they're in command. Coach Lopez is supreme.
Cuando Cortine con el base va a cambio. Si el otro sube, cambio. ¿Entendiste? Viste que están llamando jugada de entrada para el base. Están llamando jugada de entrada para el base. Así que léelo, vos me empezás a presionarlo. Espero que jugar no baje. Adelante. No importa después de anotación, mírame. Puño. Después de anotación, puño. Ahora, el que tiene ventaja en el bajo es Q. Abajo Q. ¿Ok? Abajo Q. Improve. The quick and roll.
The Argentino players trying to get it together. Wasabi, Alessio, Cangelosi. Newsom in the game for Malvin. Martinez, the captain, on the bench. Seeing out the final couple minutes here. And good defense that time from Argentino. Knocks it away. The pull-up three. Cangelosi got his hand on the ball. Good hustle, but Wasabi not able to save it. Bavosi hands it off to Cheney. Shooting from the field 63% from Malvin, 32% for Argentino. And that breaks it down, the twos and the threes. Another three-pointer falls for Malvin, and this time from Bavosi. Boy, they have come out and just really torn this team apart, haven't they? 5 points for Bavosi. And the foul called on Newsom. Bavosi pulls up. You're going to give it to me, I'll take it. And he does take it. They have been incredible from three-point range. Oof. Nice easy basket. They've had a few easy baskets inside if they would execute. Get the ball in there. Now Cheney. Back outside to Bavosi. The basket at the other end was from Wasabi. Now Bavosi steps inside the arc this time and hits a wide open jumper. 45-23. And you see the smile on Garza's face. This is easy, coach. We're taking him to town. Final 30 seconds. Schaffler. And Wasabi hits a three. He's been one of their better players. One of the few bright spots for Argentino de Junin. Final 7 seconds. Pass over to Mazzarino. And Newsom puts up a three right before the buzzer. So Argentina have to trudge off to the changing rooms at halftime no doubt to get a tongue lashing. You would expect anyway. Malvin in command, 45-26. You can see they've just been completely on top of them in this game. They got that great first quarter run and just got the shots to start falling. But it's not just about good shooting. It's about hustle and determination on the boards. And other than the mistake by Martinez getting an unsportsmanlike foul, Malvin have just hardly put a foot wrong in this game. Especially from three-point range where they're 7 of 10 from the arc. Argentino, 3 of 11. Anyway, 20 minutes still remaining, folks. Don't go away. An exciting second half we're expecting to come your way. Well, you see Silverey leading the scores in the game with 10 points. That was coming off the bench. Tofani has the 5 rebounds. It's the 7 of 10 shooting from three-point range. That's been a big bonus for this Malvern team. Vosi's been as good as advertised. We just haven't really seen Argentino do too much in this game, and that's where the shots have been coming for Argentino. And that's where the shots, look how many threes have fallen. Nothing from the corners. So it's 45-26 at halftime. Malvern on top of Argentino de Junin. Well, 45-26 is the lead for Malvin against Argentino de Junin. We're at halftime, and it's been one-way traffic, folks. It doesn't matter who the player is for Malvin. It seems like everybody has been stepping up and making a contribution. Certainly, the introduction of Silvare off the bench really sparked this Malvin team that hails from Montevideo. He had 10 points in the first half. He hit both of his three-pointers. And as a team, 7 three-pointers went in for Malvin out of their 11 attempts. But more so than the shooting, really, it just seemed like they were a step quicker. They were beating Argentina rather, de Junin to the loose balls. They were just, crisper. The passes were sharper. Everything was working for Malvin there in the first half. Can they keep it up for the second half? Well, they're going to come out and try to lower the boom, because you never know. It could end up into a situation, as we've already seen in this competition, where goal differential tiebreakers come into play. So margins of victory can be very important. So keep your eyes on the lead and keep your eyes on Malvin. I'm sure that Pablo Lopez, the coach, isn't going to allow his team to relax or take their foot off the pedal, or at least he's going to try not to let them relax. And if they could come out and lower the boom here early on, that would be a good night for Argentino de Junin. Rierte has his work cut out for him. They got to come out and play some defense, the team from Junin. But they have to be shell-shocked by how that first half went. Basabi and Cangelosi each with 8 points. But overall, not very good defending from the team from Argentina. Well, the team in white certainly has a point to prove as they come out. They trailing by 19 points, just 26 points for themselves, and giving up 45. And Richard Cheney is going to inbound it. And he gets the ball in to Silvare, who gets the start here in the second half. Silvare puts it up, and the runner this time no good. Stewart with the rebound. Over to Balby. This team cannot afford to stand around on offense. They've got to start being a little bit more productive. Stewart from up top, and drills the three. That was a good start. He's got 7 points, and that cuts it back to a 16-point deficit. See if there's an extra bounce in the step here. Mazzarino gets inside over to Califani, and Califani looked like he was going to try to dunk it, but in the end just kind of floated in and banked it in. Well, it has to happen more than anything else on the defensive end for Argentina if they're going to get anything going. Now Stewart. And Stewart was surrounded, and I don't think Argentino got the shot off in time, Cangelosi. So Stewart was surrounded, had to pass out. And now Malvin with a chance to get that lead back up to 20 points.
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Now Balby gets in, puts up the left-handed layup. He missed it, but Stewart, who's come out and playing well here early at the start of the third quarter, gets the rebound and the putback. Silvere hands it off to Mazzarino. Mazzarino. Silvere for three. And he misses his first three of the game. Now Balby. And Balby fouled by Silvere. Balby gets in. That was the miss, but Stewart kept it alive and was able to get it away from Newsom and put it up and in. So 16 points is the deficit. Funes is at the line. Fernando Funes. And they need, him to get on track, and he's struggling to get it going tonight. Second one good from Funes after a 15-point deficit. So Silvere was very good in the first half, not quite so good here at the start of the third quarter. Bavosi. So Bavosi checks back in. Richard Cheney, and almost had the ball taken away by Balby. Now Calfani. A little bit too much spinning. Not sure about the footwork on that one with Calfani. Turns it over. So another opportunity here for Argentino de Junin. Pablo Lopez realizes it's a somewhat shaky start for his team. And if Argentino gets a little bit of confidence here, they could wipe away that deficit. Certainly Argentino playing with a little bit more sense of purpose here. And Malvin also not really executing like they were. Oh, long three! And the three from Balby cuts it back to a 12-point deficit. Argentino de Junin are well and truly alive. And a technical foul has been called against Argentino for complaining. Incredible. Well, they had the momentum. They'd cut it to 12. They were trying to up the defense. They were upset. I think that a foul hadn't been called on the team from Montevideo, Malvin. So the technical was called, and Mazzarino doesn't capitalize. So it could have been worse. As it is, still 12-point lead. Bavosi, his pass intercepted by Funes, who quickly goes to the other end. Mazzarino, and incredible comeback here for the start of the second half. Funes goes in for the basket, and now it's the team in white that has the sense of purpose, the sense of urgency, and Malvin have had to call a timeout. Both Mazzarino and Cheney hustled down to get the block, but Funes wasn't going to be denied. Well, that was definitely, it could have been a foul on Balby. I don't agree with Rierte on that one. That was a three though by Balby, and Boy, it is incredible. It is incredible how well Argentina have come out and got themselves back in this game. Pablo Lopez knows his team needs to stop the bleeding now, or this Argentinian team can get right back level here in this exciting game, the opening game of the semifinal round here in Group E. We're in Buenos Aires. See the Malvin fan, he's like, what happened? We're up big time. And now it was a 19-point lead at halftime, and now it's down to 10. And Bobby's still hot under the collar about the technical foul. Mazzarino guarded by Funes. Oh, great hands, anticipation. And the pass was telegraphed. And fortunately for Malvin, they didn't turn it over. Well, not much time with the shot clock. Mazzarino back to Babosi. Over to Newsom, and Newsom's shot no good. And Funes came in. I think he overcomplicated the rebound, and that allows Mazzarino to drill the three. All Funes had to do was go up and grab it, but he tried to grab it with authority, and he didn't bring it down. That is a huge, huge play. Back to a 13-point lead. Bobby gets inside, misses. And now back to Bavosi. See the three-point shooting for both teams. Bavosi over to Cheney for three. Good. And just like that, 6 quick points put Malvin back in the ascendancy. And I'll tell you what, folks, you go back and you look at Funes when he was trying to get that rebound. That was the result there, the Mazzarino three. It just takes the wind right out of your sails. And whatever, if there was any wind at all after the first three, that second three from Cheney took away some of that wind.
Dos, para que juegue Fernando pick and roll con Chris. Dos, está, tranquilo. Y después puño bajo. Vamos a seguir defendiendo así que el partido lo vamos a poner de vuelta parejo. Dale, 10 puntos, dale.
Well, basically the coach saying, hey, easy, tranquilo. There's a long way to go in this one. Don't worry, we can get back into it. So live action again. And Stewart back in, gets it over to Funes. Funes pulls up and drills the two. So almost see the calming words of his coach having an effect there with Funes. And a push called against Argentino and Funes. Not a push. He just stepped in and committed the blocking foul. And this time clearing out Newsom, and Newsom called for the foul. So that sends it back over to the team from Argentina. And he raised his left elbow, and that's why the call was made. So good job from Funes. Now Stewart. Funes. Another jumper. Newsom with the rebound. Over to Cheney. And Stewart with the rebound. Pass outside. Cangelosi for three. The ball goes in, a three-pointer. Well, he got some help from the rim and the backboard, but that's his third three-pointer. And it's back to an 11-point game. Mazzarino inside, and a good play from Newsom. Now quickly, Balbi gets inside and draws the foul. Well, that is a kind roll, but also a shooter's touch without question. Oh, costly miss from Balbi at the line. Second one is good. So Garthis comes out. And it's a full court pressure here now from Argentina de Junin. And good pressure from Owens. Great effort. Funes diving on the floor, taking it away from Bavosi. Owens hands it off. Now Balbi shakes, bakes, gets it over to Funes. Good play all the way around, and one pass too many. We almost felt like they deserved better that time for the hustle. But now their 10th turnover. See Malvin have 9 turnovers. Chaney puts it on the deck, hands it off. And Gransberry, number 19, draws the foul. And it was a good idea from Funes, and Owens just couldn't quite bring it in. Gransberry misses his first attempt. Second one is good. Back to a 13-point advantage. Funes, I think that was an alley-oop. And second straight turnover. And maybe trying again, making it complicated. Bavosi hands it off to Mazzarino. Gransberry in the lane, puts it up and draws the foul from Owens. Again, Gransberry misses the first of 2 free throws. Second is good. So Bavosi checks out of the game. Funes might try to take Mazzarino off the dribble. And the foul called down the perimeter. Jones comes out. A little bit of frustration. See him having an animated conversation with, I believe it was Balbi. Cangelosi at the line. Basabe comes back in. Funes exit the game. Well, he's trying to make things happen out there, Funes. Sometimes, like that alley-oop pass, a little bit too much, but you can't fault him for his hustle. He was out there diving around, looking for balls, for loose balls rather, trying to get them. Cangelosi misses the first. So the second one goes in. It's back to a 13-point game. Balbi reaches in and almost took it away from, and they almost do. They do force the turnover for Martinez. Now Balbi for three, off the back of the rim, and Martinez chases it down. And a block called. Block called against Argentino. Now Mazzarino. He's guarded by Basabe. Calfani misses inside. Now Balbi. Well, the door is definitely open for a comeback, but they need to hit some shots. Cangelosi misses. Basabe with the rebound. And foul has been called. Good hustle. First one is good. And Basabe makes the second as well. Back to an 11-point game. Boy, if Argentino de Junin can get it underneath 10, you'd have to think psychologically they'd like their chances. Of course, the way they're playing right now, they've definitely giving it everything. Mazzarino, though, there's no substitute for great shooting, and that man has a golden release. He takes it back to 13 for Malvin. And the box out down low, and the foul called on Basabe. And Martinez does a good job of getting, well, not too much in that, to be honest. Richard Chaney, final minute of the third quarter. Mazzarino again, and travels, and referee right on the call, no question about it. I tell you what, though, Mazzarino's hit some big shots tonight. I think a technical foul's been called. Unbelievable on Mazzarino. I tell you what, the referees haven't been messing around tonight from a technical foul. You know, they have called the technicals, and the only thing, you know, both teams could say, if they could make some technical free throws, they could punish the opponents. They could capitalize, and they just haven't been able to do that. And this is the first one. Garces checks back in. Final 42 seconds here. Schopfler. Entry pass. And the shot was there for Alessio. He missed. And now Martinez and Malvin can hold on for one shot. Martinez gets inside in the lane, misses. Took it a little bit too fast maybe. Now Schopler quickly to the other end. And he had the shot that he needed and couldn't make it. So I think Rierte probably likes his position more now than he did at halftime, but must be thinking they could be even closer. 59-46, Malvin on top of Argentino de Junin. Well, 59-46, Malvin leading after 3 quarters against Argentino de Junin. And Cangelosi has 12 points to lead Argentino. They were down 19 at halftime. Cangelosi. Now Alessio. And puts up a well-contested shot. Alessio gets it back. Maybe trying to do too much. And called for the travel. Got to find Stewart. He's pretty polished inside, Stewart. So Silvare had 10 points at halftime. He still got 10 and remains the leading scorer for Malvin. Garces goes to work against Alessio. And really, that was an ugly shot. He forced that one up as well. It was a line drive. Clanged off the backboard. And a foul called against Malvin. Schopler's got some energy. Now, brings some energy to the table. Alessio hands it off. Basabe, shot clock winding down, does just get it off in time. And Bavosi gets it before it goes out of bounds. Martinez, pump fake, hands it off. Ball goes out of bounds. Stewart comes out. Owens comes back in. I don't think Stewart got enough touches that time in. Well, shot clock about to expire, and that shot does not go off in time for Martinez, so it's not going to count. Owens catches it down low. Back outside to Alessio. Bounce pass from Basabe, but it was well read from Bavosi. Now, he brings it across. And I'm not sure this is the 5 that needs to be on the floor for Argentino. Could be that we'll see some other players come right back in shortly here. So Argentino de Junin without a point since 1:26 remained in the third quarter. Also, Malvin haven't scored since 1:12 in the third quarter. And it goes to Garces. And again, another shot clock violation. Well, the door is definitely open for Argentino de Junin, but they've got to get something to go down. Funes, again, runs into trouble, turns it over. Now Martinez gets fouled, puts it up. Are they going to take? Nope, they're going to say he wasn't shooting. Schopfler comes out. Now I'm guessing, Newsom's going to come back in. Balby has come in for Schopfler for Argentino. McGarthas comes out, and there's Newsom. Had some good moments in the first half. Newsom gets it over. And Cheney. Alessio with the rebound over to Balby. Balby dribbles behind his back. Still a 13-point game. Owens for 3. Saw Rierte slap his hands in frustration. And the penetration, the ball goes out. And the foul called on Balby. Well, Martinez has definitely looked better. He had the 2 threes in the first half, but the unsportsmanlike foul sort of tarnished his contribution. But he's come back here. Certainly the fourth quarter looks very good, other than the shot clock violation. And those free throws take it back to a 15-point lead. And really now the clock is the enemy of this Argentino de Junin team. And good reach, and the steal from Cheney just takes it right away from Funes. And I remember watching Funes in the group play. Sometimes a little bit careless when he puts the ball in front. You know, he's tried to dribble in front before. That time he was just holding it and just allowed Cheney to reach in and knock it away. So definitely the momentum shifting back to Malvin. And Balby, good hustle, but Martinez alertly gets the ball, passes over to, I believe, Calfani, and that three-pointer from the Uruguayan center takes it back to an 18-point advantage. What? That was almost a steal. As it is, Calfani sits out. And I'll tell you what, for a big fella, he's got a nice release. Interesting player.
Situaciones rápidas, donde juguemos pick and roll central para romper y tocar. Está. Va con el 5, va con Calfani, va con el 4. Está. Muchachos, generar para un compañero, romper y tocar, para que uno tire el pie firme. Está, no nos caigamos. 4 minutos sin anotar. ¿Cuánto más vamos a defender? Vamos a anotar. Tenemos que anotar, vamos, dale.
Well, the points have dried up, and he's like, we've still got 4 minutes to go here to get some points. In fact, you got 6 minutes to go. 4 minutes into the fourth quarter. Balby guarded by Martinez. Tell you, Martinez is playing some good defense out there. This is quite a matchup between these two players. Just almost was able to get that steal, and because Martinez was able to get it back, that led to the three-pointer from Calfani. Owens goes in up for the dunk, and Calfani goes up for the block. So Owens, rewarded for going strong to the basket, will have a couple of free throws. He definitely got him with a body. Well, free throws have been a problem tonight for this team. 8 of 14 at the line, Argentino de Junin. And the second one goes in. Gets it back to a 17-point deficit. Pass into Cheney and fouled from behind from Funes. Cheney holding his nose like he got popped. Played his college basketball at Utah. Utah in the NCAA school in America, State University. Second one up and in. Good player. And now back to a 19-point lead, the same margin at halftime. And really, Argentino de Junin have ultimately been punished by that woeful start. They had a great comeback in the third quarter, but when they went, to the bench, having, shaved just 6 points off the deficit, you wondered if they'd let some opportunities disappear that they just did not take advantage of. Should have been closer. Martinez for three, good! Well, count that one, folks. That was well before the shot clock. He had one go in earlier, but it was wiped away. But he has got 11 points. He's got a few three-pointers and 22 points now the lead. And you think with Argentino de Junin that, they need to be thinking about getting this score more respectable because of the potential of a goal differential tiebreaker. Martinez with the three. When we talk about a goal differential tiebreaker, what we mean is that all of the teams in this group will play each other. And if you have three of those teams tied with each other, you know, you will use the points differential to determine which team has, you know, goes through, like in places second, third, and fourth, for example. So the goal differential tiebreaker is very important. And right now, this team from Uruguay looking pretty tough. They wobbled a little bit in the third quarter, but they've come back strong. And really, Martinez has been a real spark for them in the fourth quarter. Balby gets in, has the shot blocked. Gransbury. Balby knows it. And Funes over on the right hits a shot. Gets it back to a 21-point deficit. Now Martinez fouled by Schappler. And Owens comes out. I think when you look back at the game, though, you have to say the way Malvin started in the first quarter, you know, they were clearly more focused. Playing with more intensity, more drive, more determination. And they got up to that huge lead and, you know, went to halftime on top 19. And even though Argentina came back in the third quarter, it was that great start that allowed, you know, gave this Malvin team the cushion they needed to weather the storm. And right now it's all about trying to make this game more respectable and to improve their goal differential in case they get into a tiebreaker. We're talking about Argentina de Junin. Calfani's has been good. Goes over to the bench. He's definitely a prospect. Funes puts up the jumper. That's good. 21-point game. 3:51 to go. And you know that Malvin are well aware of the points differential as well. They want to maximize every possession. Silvere reaches in, can't quite get a hold of it, but Malvin will retain possession. Silvere Biel, Eye is in the game as well. Number 10. And Martinez misses that attempt. And quickly now. Nice look off by Schappler. He draws the foul from Pamoli. So Schappler at the line trying to get it under 20 just to make both free throws, but they have really struggled at the line. 9 of 15 on the night. And another one stays out. 9 of 16. We did see a very similar situation unfold for Argentina in their first game of this Liga Sudamericana. They lost. They didn't really look sharp against Winner Lamera, although Winner Lamera had something to do with that. And they were able to rebound Argentino and advance as the second place team. So don't write them off. Yeah, that was an air ball. Alessio passes over to Schappler, and the jumper's good. So back to 18. Schappler some full court pressure. Gransbury backs up Alessio, makes the pass, then Stewart is fouled. Another opportunity. And that's exactly what the coach is thinking. Let's get Stewart on the line, get a couple of free throws to go down, get it back to a 16-point game. I think Stewart kind of got lost in the game plan. They could have perhaps gone to him more than they did in that third quarter. Free throws good, so it's back to a 16-point game. He's been good overall. You see, now they're at 61%, 75% for Malvin. Malvin be content to run some time off the clock. Silvare blows right past his defender, but misses. Now quickly, Shopler, bounce pass. Basebi inside to Stewart. Oh, Stewart had an opportunity for a three-point play if he made that. And you can see Rierte is like, come on, come on, come on. Let's get that deficit down. Let's get that deficit down. That's what he's thinking. 72-56. It's the beauty of these competitions, folks. I mean, you got to play for 40 minutes. You just can't go on cruise control. You've got, you don't want to undo all the good work that you've done. If you're Malvin, you want to win this thing decisively. And right now, with Stewart especially in the game, Argentino coming back. It's back to a 14-point deficit. I just wonder if Pablo Lopez has done the right thing. He almost needs to call a timeout and talk to his guys. He wants everybody to play. Well, they do get a layup there, so good play. That was Bualo. Shopler over to Alessio, right at the top of the key. And Stewart doing a good job of boxing out. Draws another foul. Well, he's been terrific since coming back into the game. I'll tell you, his teammates could learn how to shoot some free throws. Watching him, he's got 14 points. He's perfect 5 of 5 at the line. Now make it 6 of 6. And alert play from Shuffler to kind of knock it away. Santiso, number 13, had it. Now Silvare. And the rebound from number 5, Pomoli, keeps it in the hands of Malvin. And Silvare drives in, banks it in off the glass. And now the turnover. And that was a really poor play from Basabe. And now Gransbury has been called for a technical foul, I think for taunting. And that's a bad play. Gransbury went up for the dunk. Basabe blocked it, and Gransbury had words with Basabe. Now watch what happens. Okay, that was Silvare's shot. The ball was thrown right into the hands of Basabe, and you can see Gransbury having words. Now what exactly did he say? And really, the referee has to make that call because, it's, he's right in the middle of it. So he knows what's being said. And Pablo Lopez just thinks, guys, why do we make plays like this? There's no reason to give this other team a chance to get closer. We're on top. Let's just finish this thing out. And the coach, Pablo Lopez, telling his player, hey, guys, come on. Go out there and make your free throws. Concentrate on the free throws. And Gransbury makes the first one. And the second one is good. So he looked good on those free throws. And now he's saying, why did they call the technical on me? Schoppler try to get him right back, at least one of them. He does. And now he's trying to get an explanation. And Gransbury's saying he didn't really say anything, but I think the fact that he didn't walk away, didn't help his case really. Good effort by Stewart, but can't save it. And Stewart with the full court pressure on Santiso. Santiso brings it across. Good job by Santiso. Entry pass, oh, beautiful play. Well, I was questioning whether or not he should have all these guys in, but Pomoli makes the layup. And the shot from number 23, Lorio, stays out. And Schoppler commits the foul on Silvere. Well, the team dinner is going to be a happy affair tonight. 13 points for Silvere, and overall, Malvin had a couple of sequences, an unsportsmanlike foul, technical foul, but overall, they've dominated. Puntos del Banco, 48 for Malvin, 16 for Argentino de Junin, and the lead has gone back to 21. Beautiful between the legs pass to Pomoli. And the fans that have come from Malvin got something to be excited about, without question. Gransbury gets inside, puts it up off the glass. And now it's going back up to 23. Boy, I'll tell you what, if these teams get into a tiebreaker, you know who's going to win it. And quickly, will the basket count? No, it will not, but nevertheless, a huge, huge win. Very professional overall. Malvin far better tonight, and they remain unbeaten in this Liga Sudamericana. Well, it's going to be back to the drawing board for the team in white, but for the team in blue here, it's all smiles. And now it's like we know we are a little bit closer to our aim of getting into that Final Four. Remember, the top two teams in Group E will progress, and they had some terrific contributions from a whole cast of characters. And from Argentino de Junin, at least they can draw some comfort from for the majority of the second half. They played really hard trying to get back into it. Things got away there at the end of the fourth quarter, though, and led them to having a pretty decisive loss. But certainly Argentino de Junin can come out and win tomorrow and then win again on Friday and control their own destiny. So 84-61, Malvin win against Argentino de Junin in the first game of the semifinal round. Well, overall, the shooting percentage is far higher for Malvin, 51% inside the arc, 57% beyond it. They had 11 three-pointers on the night, 7 of those coming in the first half when they just really took control. You know, free throw shooting somewhat of a factor. Silvere ended up as the leading scorer with the 14 points for Malvin. Stewart had a game-high 15. He did a lot of his damage at the line, making all 6 attempts. And Stewart also had 6 rebounds. Alessio 5. Gransbury had 5 rebounds, as well as Bavosi. Sabi fouled out on that attempted, or on the block of, on the foul of Gransbury. And there you see the leaders in those statistical categories. The main stat is the final score. Malvin winning it convincingly and moving closer to a spot in the Final Four. They still got a couple more games to play, though. Anything can happen. And you want to make sure you stick around here and watch all of the action. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. 84-61, Malvin win it decisively against Argentino de Junin in the first game of the semifinal round of the Liga Sudamericana here in Buenos Aires.